When the scales of justice move in two directions on the same day, the nation stops and watches. This is Arise News, and today we break down the dramatic courtroom developments involving former Attorney-General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, his son Abdulaziz Malami, and members of his family. A case that now spans terrorism financing allegations and a separate 9 billion naira money laundering prosecution. In a significant ruling at the Federal High Court, Malami and his son were granted bail in a terrorism financing case filed by the Department of State Services. Each was granted bail in the sum of 200 million naira after pleading not guilty to charges that include alleged abetment of terrorism and illegal firearms possession. The trial has been scheduled to begin on March 4, signaling that the court intends to move swiftly in hearing the matter. According to court proceedings, the defendants firmly denied all allegations. Their legal team argued that they are respected public figures with known addresses and no flight risk. After considering submissions from both sides, the judge approved bail under strict conditions. Supporters of the former AGF described the decision as a victory for due process, emphasizing the constitutional presumption of innocence until proven guilty. However, the courtroom drama did not end there. In a parallel development before the same Federal High Court and before the same judge, a fresh arraignment was conducted in a separate case filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In this second proceeding, Malami, his wife, and his son were arraigned on 16 counts of alleged money laundering involving a staggering 9 billion naira. The EFCC charges allege that the funds in question were laundered during Malami's tenure as Attorney-General of the Federation between 2015 and 2023. Prosecutors claim the transactions involve suspicious financial movements that warrant full criminal examination. The defendants also pleaded not guilty to these charges. Here is where the situation became more complicated. The court ruled that the earlier bail granted in relation to the terrorism case would not automatically apply to the money laundering charges. The judge voided any previous bail arrangements concerning the financial crimes matter and ordered that the trio be remanded pending a hearing scheduled for March 6. In simple terms, while Malami and his son secured bail in one case, they remain in custody in connection with the separate money laundering prosecution, at least until the court addresses bail applications in that matter. This dual ruling has triggered intense debate across Nigeria. On one side, supporters argue that bail granted in the terrorism case affirms that courts remain guided by legal principles, not public pressure. They insist that allegations, no matter how serious, must be tested in court and that bail is not acquittal but a constitutional right when conditions are met. On the other hand, critics have questioned whether bail terms of 200 million naira each are proportionate to charges that include terrorism financing and firearms allegations. Others argue that the money laundering case involving 9 billion naira represent a far more serious financial accusation that demands thorough scrutiny. For many Nigerians, the political context adds another layer. Malami served as Attorney-General of the Federation for 8 years under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. During that period, he was a central legal figure in several high-profile national decisions. His tenure was marked by both strong supporters and vocal critics. Now, with these charges surfacing after he left office, public opinion is sharply divided. A proverb says, "When the mighty are called to answer, the crowd will gather." That is precisely what is happening. Social media platforms are flooded with reactions. Some describe the developments as long overdue accountability. Others view the prosecutions as politically motivated or strategically timed. From a legal standpoint, it is important to separate emotion from process. Bail in Nigeria is discretionary and based on conditions such as flight risk, interference with witnesses, and strength of preliminary evidence. Courts are not required to deny bail simply because charges are serious. Rather, they must evaluate whether detention is necessary pending trial. At the same time, money laundering allegations of 9 billion naira elevate the stakes significantly. Financial crime cases of this magnitude typically involve complex investigations, forensic audits, and extended court proceedings. The March 6th hearing will determine whether bail conditions will be granted in the EFCC case and under what terms. The coming weeks will be crucial. The March 4th terrorism case hearing will test the prosecution's evidence on alleged abetment and firearms possession. Then, attention will shift to the money laundering proceedings. Legal analysts expect intense courtroom arguments over documentation, asset tracing, and whether the accused individuals benefited personally from the alleged transactions. Beyond the courtroom, this case touches on broader themes: accountability of former public officials, the strength of Nigeria's anti-corruption institutions, and public confidence in the judiciary. Nigerians are watching closely to see whether proceedings will be transparent, fair, and free from political influence. One question many are asking is this: does the simultaneous handling of both cases before the same judge streamline justice, or does it heighten public scrutiny and pressure? Legal experts say it may improve efficiency, but it also places the court under a brighter national spotlight.
For now, here are the confirmed facts. Malami and his son have been granted 200 million naira bail each in the DSS terrorism financing case, with trial set for March 4. In a separate EFCC prosecution involving 16 counts of alleged 9 billion naira money laundering, the court has voided previous bail considerations and ordered remand pending a March 6 hearing. The presumption of innocence remains intact. Allegations must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. But the weight of these accusations ensures that this will be one of the most closely watched legal battles involving a former top government official in recent years. As this story unfolds, Nigerians will look not just at verdicts, but at the process itself. Transparency, fairness, and adherence to the rule of law will define public confidence in the outcome. Stay with Arise News for continuous updates as the March 4 and March 6 hearings approach. In matters where power, money, and national security intersect, clarity is not optional. It is essential.